All right, May 27th. It's been 1 month since I broadcasted these food plots. The front end of this was pretty dry. We got some decent rains right after planting, and but then it kind of dried up again for about a week or so. Suddenly, we've gotten about 4 inches of rain. And while these plots look behind for a month, and you can kind of gauge that off the buckwheat, it's coming on strong. If we can get some sunlight, these are going to take off. I've got some weeds, specifically some grass weeds in this top plot, which I'm used to. I'm just going to roll with it for now because this one spot up through here, back through here, is where I've had screening, and it's going to be sprayed. So I'll be spraying that again at some point. And I'm probably going to go with some type of, probably heavy duty with some clover and stuff on this part to regenerate the soil. I hit it pretty good with some fertilizer, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and swap it out and then just move the screen back 20 foot. And but I deal with this every year in this plot. Is the grass is, I'm probably going to have to get to a spot where if I don't see the timing happening right with the rain, is killing everything, coming back, letting this grass germinate, and spraying again, and probably planting later than what I typically do. But let me turn you around here and I'm going to start showing you this plot. All right, so buckwheat is actually over about 15 inches or so. It's actually quite a bit of it out here. Again, there's some grass weeds in here, but there's some clover mixed in. Some like this stuff right here is intentional stuff. That's gonna be something probably inside the dirty bird. I see some brassicas in here that I had thrown out. Seeing some cow peas. Actually some really good, that's going to be a radish, and that is really good. Some of this vetch, even with Liberty and glyphosate touching it, some of this vetch did not die. I'm going to have to watch that because I don't want it to turn into basically a weed on me to where I can't terminate it and get rid of it. Sunflower that's happened to not have a deer find it. See, as we get out here, it's a little thin through here, but there's buckwheat and there's still stuff germinating. And once this gets mature, it'll fill in bare. Again, this plot has got some weird spots in it to where I don't know if it's thin soil or what the deal is, but I just end up having some thin spots in this plot. And like some of that stuff right there, that could be Johnson grass. I don't know for sure yet. This right here sure looks like Johnson grass. Got a weed here. Got good brassica radishes. I put radish in, actually, I did not add radish. There's some radish in the overhaul. And I did have a little bit of a fall annual brassica that I tossed into this mix just to get rid of it. It was very minimal, but there's still some of that showing up in here, which I'm fine with. The reason I did that is I have trouble getting brassicas to establish and create bulbs or tubers in the fall. And I've been dealing with drought every year that we've been here. So I wanted to go ahead and get these in the ground in the spring and see if I was simply dealing with a water issue and not something else. And as of right now, we'll see. I've seen fall plots get that good right there. And that's a pretty good size radish right there. So I'm gonna wanna see if they'll actually put out a tuber, and if some of these turnips in here might put out a bulb or not, and just go from there. It's just basically an experiment. But you see where this vetch took on some herbicide, it knocked it back, but it did not kill it. So I gotta watch that. See, this is some weedy grass and stuff in here. May turn into some foxtails or something at some point. But all in all, even with the weeds in here, because I kind of expect them, I'm very happy with what I'm seeing. Because the buckwheat looks really good. As it matures, it may drown out a lot of this. And do really well. And even if I'm not overly concerned about it, I've got enough seed where if push come to shove, I could kill this and plant a whole nother plot. But I don't think I'm going to have to. I really like what I see. Between the Dirty Bird, the Overhaul, I'm happy. What I don't see is I don't see a lot of my power plant mix. I'm not seeing a lot of peas. I'm not seeing a lot of beans. And I'm not seeing a lot of sun hemp. There's a bean right here. But here's a pea. But there's not a lot of it. And typically there's a lot of deer that'll come in here and feed. But typically they will nip off some of this buckwheat too, and I've not seen that yet. But a lot of this still looks really good. I'm very happy with the plot as a whole. It could be better, there's no doubt, but with the conditions, it is what it is. There's certain parts of this that looks really good, like this area honestly looks great. And there's some that just look okay or poor, and that's okay too. I planted, let's see any up here. There should be some somewhere right here. I planted pumpkins. I see some peas and stuff over here. I planted some pumpkins, squash, and zucchini. The pumpkins are out of the ground pretty good. The squash and zucchini is not yet. I just did that the other day. But I've got several pumpkin plantings. Here's one of them right here. This will probably end up getting drowned out by this Dirty Bird and stuff here. And I got a good pumpkin plant right here. That's a brassica, another pumpkin here. I got a bunch of pumpkins down through here. And they've all have done really well as far as germination goes, but I can see a good one right here. Sorry about that. Right there. And I think it's gonna do good. I feel like this, if this is Dirty Bird, I'm gonna let it go. These pumpkin plants will find their way out to light because I planted them all along edges. But I'd say all in all, I'm perfectly fine with what I'm seeing. It's not great, it's not perfect, but it's basically doing what I want to do. I've got preferred planting out here. Even though a lot of the food is already possibly gone, I'm okay with that. And the goal here essentially is soil health, because the soil needs some help here. I do like to plant some food in here for the deer even during the summer, but right now my bigger goal is the soil building, soil biology, and its ability to basically take care of itself over time without having to add a bunch of supplements to it, nutritionals, etc. And I'm adding stuff to it, but the goal is to let it become its own life cycle, and I am on my way. Every year, so this was first planted in the, let me think, spring of 22. I planted basically a mix of bird seed, and it come up with sorghum really good. The deer really loved it. It didn't go into a full rotation until 23, whereas my back food plot, where we're going to go to next, has been in a cycle since the fall of 21. We purchased this property in 21. middle of August, and I immediately got a food plot into the back. And then this top plot here in spring, summer of 22, I did the bird seed mix, and then 23 it went into an actual rotation. So I'm a little behind on this one, but it is shaping up really nicely. Soil tests show that it leaves a lot to be desired, but we are working on it. It's got the full potassium load. It's got a lot of this. I'd like to see the CEC come up. I'd like to see the organic matter come up, and I think within a couple years it'll be there. And as of right now, I'm very happy with what I'm seeing, but only time will tell. We got to keep some rain. At this point, we need sunshine more than rain. We're basically, for the month, we are at our normal pace. For the year, we're still probably 6 to 8 inches below, but the current pace right now is good. And I think we just need some sunshine, and this will probably bolt. So let's go on to the back plot and see what we got there. All right, we're coming up on this back plot here, so let's see what we got. So this top section here is a very shallow soil, super shallow. And I did plant some, but we got a bunch of weedy stuff coming up in here, which is fine. I'm gonna let all of this go. And then we get into here a little bit and we start seeing the brassicas, the buckwheat. I'm seeing some of the dirty bird mix, like sorghums and millets. A lot of brassicas. You can see again here, the vetch did not take a good kill. And as of right now, I'm okay with that. What it tells me is when I get ready to spray for the fall plot, I'm gonna have to hit this hard with the Glide and the Liberty. I don't want to bring 2,4-D in here if I don't have to. But golly, the brassicas in here. Again, they're not typically what you would plant in the spring, but I did this for a reason. The overhaul mix has radish, but I was basically getting rid of some big sexy mix that I had left over, and it's just getting too old. I wanted to get it out and just let it go. It's not this here's a little thick, but all in all, it's not going to hurt the soil for a one-time deal. Over again, vetch, pretty good stand of buckwheat from the overhaul. You know, for this being some crap soil up here, I see some peas. For this being some bad soil, it's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna let this go just over and over and over again. I'm not gonna attempt to plant. The only thing I'll attempt to plant up here as far as a fall blend would be either an oat or a cereal rye. And that'll be just to literally try to build the soil up, because I know the stuff that we really like to plant for fall is not going to do well. It hasn't in the past. I'm not going to push it. So right about here, I got my mineral lick. I've got a mock scrape that I'll have to do up that tree right there. I've got a camera in it now, but that'll come out. And then I've got my stand right there, and this is a kill stand. This is not something you sit in all the time. This is a go in and kill it stand. But from this point on is where I want to plant my fall blend. And in this instance, I really want to get like some radish put in here, so when our velvet season opens, technically it's not called velvet season, but that's what most of us refer to it as. At the end of August, I want deer to congregate right here in front of that stand. So if the wind is right and all the other conditions are right, I'll be in that. Got a sunflower right here. Some buckwheat, cocklebur, I see some peas. This was a little thin through here, and then right down the middle of the plot where the best ground is. So I went through and put some more beans and peas out. This right here, this spot here, and then right through here had an extra thick thatch because I let this stand last fall as a break for the plot, and the deer did not like it at all. So I will not be doing that again. And I did it because The house up here used to have some more cedars and stuff in the yard. It just kind of blocked it off, and they cut them all down. And the deer seemed to not like that. They had probably 150 to 200 cedars in their yard, all the way from the backyard to the front down their driveway, and the deer used to use that to come from across the road. And it also helped block the house and the activity up there, which there's not a lot, but the deer certainly adjusted to that last year, and I'll be curious to see how that goes this year. Somewhere around right here, I've got some tall growth right in here. I'll be planting some of the incognito into that spot. I won't be doing any spraying or nothing because I put some cedars in there, but I've got that plan to see if I can get some type of ton of peas right here. More here. All this grassy growth is part of the Dirty Bird mix, and it's obviously looks way too thick right in here, but that'll be okay. Start seeing some buckwheat. This area right here, so this pile of cedar chips was a mineral site. Good peas right there. And I moved it and filled it in. And this whole area right here is a bunch of weedy grass. And it's like the front, it's something I'll have to attack differently. Not sure why it does this so much right here, even with initial killing, seeding, and everything else. It just, for whatever reason, this spot right here keeps the weeds. The buckwheat growth in this back plot, even though this soil is better than the front, does not look as good. So far, the difference this year has been the front plot received a dolomite lime, about 500 pounds or so, and this received elbow grease, a liquid lime through Domain Outdoors. And this plot does not have the growth. The only other thing I did differently up here was I had run the mower through here on the rye a few times. I did not let it get to chest height. It was a little thinner when I planted, and as you can see, there's not a ton of thatch on the ground. But those are the only real two differences. This dirt up here is way better. And I would expect the whole plot to look like that green, that lime green color right there. And that lime green, while it looks bad, that's gonna darken up as the plant matures. That's just the way this stuff starts out. I mean, this plot looks okay. And I would bet by the time the growing season's done, it's gonna look fantastic. But right now, it leaves a lot to be desired. I see some chicory here. That's probably one of the best looking plants in the whole place. See some good looking brassicas. Again, peas. Grasses from the Dirty Bird, which is going to be, again, millets and sorghums. I think that's just one big chicory plant. Lots of chicory up here from where I've planted hot chick in the past. But yeah, I mean, this plot looks okay. It ain't great. I actually like the front plot better. That's rare. I think this is the first time this has happened, where the front plot looks better than the back plot. Anyways, we're gonna keep we'll keep monitoring both of these, and we'll see how things go. Found a piece of sun hemp right here. I think the deer on here plucking a lot of it, and that could be why the deer will hit this plot and they'll just hang out and hang out and hang out, and that could be part of the reason. The only weird thing is I'm seeing a lot of peas, which in the past I've seen where cow peas have managed to stay around longer, and the soybeans get eaten up. I found another piece of sun hemp here. So I'm finding some interesting observations here, but I think all in all we're going to be good. And again, with this being a summer plot, the whole plan is just get stuff growing, you know, soil building and whatnot. You know, if I planted this whole thing in soybeans, I'd probably be screwed right now. It'd probably be nothing but dirt and weeds. So that's why I like to mix them in. That way there's something for them to eat, and then keep the rest in a soil building process, because the soil health, the soil life is going to be the key over the long haul. I appreciate everyone checking in. I know this is kind of long, might be even a little boring. If you got any questions about anything, post them in the comments, and we'll go from here. We'll probably do another check-in. We'll probably do weekly check-ins at this point, and then we'll see how that goes. My initial plan is to just let this go as long as I can. If I have to take this down in around the 1st of July or even the 1st of August, I will. And depending on when that happens, if it does, will depend on what I put in next. So as of right now, I'm just going to let everything go. I'm a little thicker through this area right here than I would like to be, but I think we'll be okay. So we're going to let it go and just continue the learning process, and check on that. I'm gonna go check the feeder here in a minute, so hopefully I'll be posting some pictures of that. If I got anything halfway decent, I'll go ahead and add them to the back of this video. Thanks for checking in, guys. Please like and subscribe.